Hi folks, this is the world's worst YouTuber here. I haven't done a video for about a month or so. I actually prepared everything in Canva and it was just the recording of the voice that I needed to do, which is the part I like the least, and they've changed all the buttons around and I've no idea whether this can record or not, but hey ho, let's just talk to myself and see what happens. So I think the last video I did, I had told my husband and I'd asked out my crush, hadn't I? And she'd kind of said a weird kind of not yes, which I'd taken as a no, which was fine. And then I decided it was time for me to focus on myself and move on. So what I did next was I decided, I just kind of focused in on myself and decided to look at what had happened when I was a teenager, why when I was 15 had I not been able to say anything to anyone. Because nowadays, like that kind of thing, I would just kind of know that it wasn't worth hiding, like that it couldn't be done. So what was different then? And I think I mentioned in a previous video around some childhood trauma that I had, and abuse in childhood. So that is probably why I thought. But I wanted to talk it through with a professional and just kind of get their opinion. And I wanted to get some validation, really, because I was like, oh my gosh, I've messed up my whole life. I've done this to my husband. I haven't messed up my whole life. That's an exaggeration. But I have had to do this terrible thing now to my husband who didn't really deserve it. And I hadn't been living authentically for many years. And I guess I just wanted to talk it through, like the psychology side with someone. So I didn't really want to talk to someone face to face because I wasn't really out to that many people. And I live in I don't live in like a big metropolitan, like a big cosmopolitan city. I don't know what I'm trying to say, what word I'm trying to say there, but I don't live in a big city. It's like a fairly small community, so I didn't really want to talk to anyone face to face at this point. So I kept seeing adverts for BetterHelp, so I went on there to find someone, and actually they have like loads of check boxes where you can filter what type of therapist you want, and LGBT is one of the things you can tick. So I know, like legally, especially in the UK anyway, they're required to be LGBT, like non-discriminatory. But I think if you can tick that box and select people who have, like proactively said that they have experience or knowledge or training or whatever to deal with those specific issues, I felt like a little bit of reassurance there. So anyway, I pretty much just like talked at her, a bit like I'm doing now with you guys. I talked at her for like a solid 20 minutes and I just recounted my memories of my childhood, some of the incidents that had happened. And then I said, do you think that this like could have contributed to why I didn't feel like I could tell anyone around me as a teenager? And she agreed that I did, and I kind of already knew the answer. She agreed that that could absolutely have influenced me and made me make the decision I did. And yeah, so I guess really I just wanted validation, and I wanted to tell someone impartial my story and see what they thought about it. I guess I just wanted to feel better about myself, and not keep blaming myself fully for it all. Rightly or wrongly, I do take responsibility, but I didn't really want to take blame, I suppose. And so, yeah, another thing she mentioned, because she wasn't in the room with me, we were just talking on my phone, like a video call, and so I wasn't sitting quietly still. I wasn't masking, essentially. I was moving, fidgeting, just fidgeting, just constantly moving and fidgeting. And eventually, after a couple of sessions, she said, have you considered, do you know much about ADHD? I'm not qualified to diagnosed, but I wonder whether you might want to go and have a look off at the symptoms. So I went off and looked. I thought, no, don't be ridiculous. I'm amazing at focusing. I'm just like the most hyper-focused person ever, which is hilarious because at the time I didn't really understand how ADHD worked. And I'm not diagnosed still, but a lot of the things that's talked about online by people who are diagnosed does really resonate. So I might do another video on that at some point. And then I guess from thinking about my childhood trauma, I think it was an Instagram reel I came across from an American psychologist, and she said that you can get like a limerence, an obsession, from somebody who kind of sparks off the same feelings in you that your like one or both of your parents did. And so that led me to think this might be what was going on with my crush, because it was quite a big obsession, really. It was like taking over my life, and I was really anxious and stressed, like people are with when they have a crush. And she's a bit older than me, and she is always busy doing something, and I'm just kind of watching on, and if anything, I would be getting in the way if I was trying to interact. And that was probably like a huge trigger to my nervous system, reminding me of the way I was with my mother. So that was useful to know as well. Over time, as I've continued spending time with her, the like real anxious, stressful, obsessive crush has really died down, and actually what's been left is just like a way more healthy kind of, well, love, I suppose. Even though it's not, I don't think it's returned. It's certainly not like openly returned. So I think just because something starts out in that kind of obsessive way, it doesn't mean you should write it off and like, this can't be love because it's not healthy. It's too much of an obsession. There's no saying it can't be the start of something, as long as it moves into a more healthy love and affection, and less of a needing. Like I need to see this person, I need them in order to be able to function, type of thing. So yeah, I'm not saying that just because it starts that way, it's never destined to be healthy. And then what else was I going to talk about? Forgiveness. So a couple of people I have mentioned about my childhood trauma. One of the first things they've said, and I don't know if they've just kind of like been watching, watching online videos or something, but they say, "Oh, you need to forgive." And I get what they're saying, that I need to not let it eat away at me and feel bad, but I actually don't think I need to forgive. Like there's some things that I just don't like. Say, for example, if I told that same person that it was my husband or partner who'd been violent over the course of 10 years, I don't think they would say, "Oh, you need to forgive them." Just because it's a father, like suddenly people seem to think you need to forgive. And that's just another little bit of my 2 pence worth, that I actually don't think I need to forgive. I do need to move past it and not let it bother me on a day-to-day basis and work on it. But forgiveness, no. And if you're ever tempted to tell someone to forgive, I would just think twice about maybe giving that advice, or wording it in that way, or feeling that you need to forgive if somebody has really wronged you. What you need to do is not let it hurt you, not let it continue to hurt you. But if you feel you can forgive and you want to, fair enough. And if you don't, then that's absolutely no requirement for you to do it. What else did I want to talk about today? Yeah, I guess so. I spent some time just feeling really sorry for myself, and feeling like a victim. And oh my gosh, like I can't believe this happened to me. Who could treat a small child like this? And just, yeah, just feeling really down in the dumps when really I'd spent the past 25 years pretty happy, while it was buried and I wasn't processing it. So then I thought, well, why? Yes, I do need to process it, but actually, I need to get back to feeling strong and happy because I know I can feel like that. And so, an exercise I did was I decided to write down a list of all the ways that this bad treatment had benefited me. Now, this sounds really odd, and I'm definitely not saying that the the abuse was a benefit. Just think of all the benefits I would even more have if that had never happened. But I'm trying to make the best of a bad thing, and saying, yes, there are some things that came out of it. So I was watching an interesting video the other day that said that there is such a thing as post-traumatic growth, and that some people, and they don't really understand why, but some people will take bad situations and they'll actually grow from them and be stronger than before. So I wrote down a list of benefits, and actually I started writing and I was trying to aim for like 5, and I ended up with like a couple of pages of like things like, I can be more empathetic with other people who've experienced the same thing. I'm independent and good at problem solving, maybe a little bit too independent and maybe a little bit not good at solving problems with others. Those are areas for me to work on. But I'm definitely good at solving problems by myself, and I'm really not afraid to be on my own, and be independent. So those were just some of the benefits that I came up with. But if you're struggling with poor treatment, something bad that's happened to you, there's probably things that it's brought you, and one thing it will have. It's really hard to say because I know some people go through horrendous things, but one thing pretty much any experience gives us is an ability to understand when other people have gone through the same thing. Now, I'm not saying it's worth going through something awful just for that, but it is, if you're looking for growth and you're looking for a silver lining and you want to get back into positivity, then that's maybe something you could consider. Anyway, so yeah, having not really wanted to do a voiceover, I have gone on for ages now. So I will see if I can get Canva to actually record this and upload a video, and I will try not to do so long next time. On my list of next videos is about coming out to my parents. So I might talk about that one next time. Who knows? And who knows when it'll be. But until then, I hope you're all safe and well and happy. And I will speak to you soon. Take care.